I don't want to see you make these 3 mistakes that I see new agents make on the North Carolina contract. So the first one, and I'm going to just take these in order of where they appear in the contract. So the first one is not giving enough time for due diligence. So I see new agents get maybe a little too aggressive on the due diligence period and give, maybe they want to make the offer more attractive. So they tell their buyers, hey, we'll just tell them it's a 7-day due diligence. But they haven't considered, oh my goodness, the service providers that I need to go out and do the inspections can't get out there during that time. Hopefully they can, but if not, then if your buyers have committed to a very short due diligence window, their inspections are not complete before the expiration of due diligence. What if they find something that is a no-go and then they have to terminate the contract? Well, not giving enough time for that due diligence period puts some more of their money on the line. Now, the second thing is all about what's included and what's not included. So this is going to be in sections or paragraphs 2 and 3 of the contract. And this is going to go all into what fixtures are going to be part of the contract and what's not. And then also what personal property will be included in the contract and what will not. So fixtures and exclusions in our current version, the July 2022 version of the offer to purchase, there is an explanation of what's considered a fixture. So it's important that your clients understand those things that are listed in the contract as to what's a fixture, because sometimes a seller might think, oh, well, that shouldn't be the fixture. We should be able to take that. Make sure you understand what your clients want to take and what they have to leave. So if there's something specifically that your client wants to take with them, one, make sure that the standard offer to purchase allows that, and if not, amend accordingly, but also make sure that it is specifically enumerated if it's not already allowed by the offer to purchase. And then also on the other side of that, if you're representing a buyer and they definitely want something to stay, this could be on the, make sure that either it's a fixture so that it has to stay, or if it's personal property and not a fixture, that it's included in that section 3, what personal property will convey at closing. So the key here is, when in doubt, spell it out. If you do not know for sure that something either is staying, or if you're a seller is going, then make sure it is clear to the parties in writing, spell it out, which kind of leads us into the next point. If there is not a blank for you to fill in to that effect, and it's going to require some extra drafting, remember that in North Carolina, only attorneys can draft the addenda to the contract. You cannot draft a contract for someone else. So when you're acting as an agent, you are not the party yourself, so you can't draft a contract for someone else. An attorney can do that. So I see agents trying to write their own addenda to the contract. Now, there is a wealth of standard forms to go along with the North Carolina offer to purchase. You can see examples of those listed in section 14. In fact, the contract builds in a place for you to check what standard addenda are included, or if there are any addenda that are drafted by the parties themselves, remember, because a party can draft their own contract, or by an attorney. So remembering that if you have to write something other than filling in a blank, it needs to be done by someone either with a law license or the parties do it themselves. And what I see here, aside from the fact that the contract specifically says in a boxed note, under North Carolina law, real estate brokers are not permitted to draft addenda to this contract. Aside from that, when I see agents trying to do this, or when they have done this, they don't know what to include, or they may put something that seems like it's going to be very simple. The parties said that they're just going to do this very simple thing, but they're not considering, all right, well, what if the parties don't do that thing? So are there deposits that get to be refunded? What are, how do we undo it? What are the remedies if one party breaches this? Maybe it would be handled by the standard offer to purchase, but maybe not. So there are so many things that go into drafting addenda to the contract that are not just simple. They said they would do this very simple thing. There's almost always more to it than whatever the parties say is simple. So those are the 3 things that I see new agents deal with on the contract that they sometimes don't quite get right. And if they don't get it right, then it can have bad consequences. So hopefully you learned something today. Again, this was a North Carolina Real Estate Show. I'm Tiffany Weber, and we will catch you in the next episode.